Hi friends, welcome back to this fifth session from the series on First Word from the Cross. Yes, forgiveness was of prime importance to Jesus. We can clearly see it in the parable taken from Matthew chapter 18 verses 21 to 35, where one day Peter asked Jesus, "How many times should we forgive someone who sins against us?" Jesus answered, 70 times 7. Yes, 70 times 7. Oh no, that's a lot of sin and a lot of pain. And that's also a whole lot of forgiveness. 70 times 7 means 490 times. Shall we forgive somebody 490 times? This is not what Jesus was teaching, but he was teaching that we need to forgive an unlimited amount of time. It seems impossible and definitely impractical, but that's what Jesus said, to forgive. But our whole world loves bitterness, holding on to anger, getting revenge, and retaliating, and it destroys us all the time. So Jesus articulates this radical message of forgiveness that is so contrary to the world. Then Jesus tells a parable, a story about a king who erases debts or sins. Here's the story. He says that there was a king who one day wanted to settle accounts with all the people who owed him. There was a servant who owed him 10,000 talents. Now, one talent was 20 years worth of work. So, 10,000 talents were round about 200,000 years of labor. So, this servant owed the king a mountain of debt, that is 200,000 years of worth of work, meaning there's no way that this servant could pay the king back this load of debt that he was carrying. So the servant begged for forgiveness, and the king also, out of mercy, forgave and erased and cancelled all the debts of the servant, and the king set the servant free. Which means that this costed the king, because any time you forgive, it costs. Because the king absorbed the debt, the king lost out 200,000 years of labor and set the man free to go. And so this servant has been set free now. He has had all his debts forgiven. Now, after few days, that forgiven servant found a fellow servant who owed him 100 days worth of work. That fellow servant asked for mercy, but instead of forgiving this fellow servant, he threw him into the prison. When the king heard about this, he called the servant back to himself and said, "You wicked servant, I forgave you all the debts because you begged me. Shouldn't you also have had mercy on your fellow servant as I had mercy on you?" And the king also threw him into prison to be tortured until he could pay back all the amount that he was previously forgiven for. So, the moral of the story is very clear. Jesus is teaching us to forgive the unforgivable. Yes, he is teaching us to forgive the unforgivable. His teaching on forgiveness is scandalous, shocking, and completely countercultural. But he knows very well that the problems of our world won't be resolved with wars and battles. Wars lead to more wars, and so he's come to show us a different way, a totally different and a better way, a way of forgiving. But why to forgive? Why should we forgive? Top reason here that why he would ask us to forgive something that seems to be unforgivable and isn't fair at all is because he loves us so much. Yes, he loves us a lot. He loves us infinitely. And because forgiveness is the final, the ultimate, and the truest form of love, Jesus is asking us to forgive. But Jesus knows very well that unforgiveness is going to ruin us. And so he is trying to heal us. He is trying to rescue us from our bitterness and our lack of forgiveness. Not forgiving is like drinking a rat poison and waiting for the rat to die. When will the rat die? When will the rat die? We are waiting for the rat to die, ignoring the fact that we have ourselves had the poison called not forgiving. If we don't forgive, then what happened to that unforgiving servant in the story will happen to all of us unless we learn to forgive our brothers and sisters from our heart. As that unforgiving servant was turned over to the tormentors, to us also the tormentors will come and torture us and will take us away. Hey, wait! What tormentors? What tormentors will come? And what tormentors will take us away? And what are these tormentors which will torture us? Yes, the hidden tormentors. The hidden tormentors of anger, the hidden tormentors of hatred, the hidden tormentors of frustration, the hidden tormentors of bitterness, the hidden tormentors of an unforgiving heart will eat us inside out, will plague us, and will destroy us all from inside out, thus leading to high blood pressure, migraine, headaches, ulcers, and so on. These tormentors will make us lie awake at night on our bed, stewing over every rotten thing that happened to us in past. They will never leave our side and suck every bit of joy from our life. But Jesus doesn't want us to live such a defeated life full of anger, bitterness, and forgiveness. But He wants to set us free, free once and for all from all these tormentors. Just as Moses set Israelites free from slavery, so Jesus is also setting us free, free from the slavery. Yes, but slavery of what? Slavery of unforgiveness, slavery of sin. But is forgiveness easy? If not, how to achieve this word called forgiveness? To know this, let's meet in our next session. Thank you.